happening June 12th in Singapore. The president saying this won't be another Iran deal. So what does each side have to give to get what they want? Joining me now is security and foreign policy expert James Carafano. Jim, yesterday was a day of celebration. Today it's back to business. Who wants what?
All right, let me get the crystal ball out here. But like, first of all, you never make a policy on North Korea thinking you know what the North Koreans are doing. So the North Koreans have actually told people privately, we don't know what Kim's going to do. He doesn't consult the formal foreign policy apparatus, and he's going to go in the room and do whatever he wants. He doesn't feel bound to things like his father and his grandfather. So we don't know if that's true, but I think the administration walks in the door expecting everything from a handshake and a smile to let's do a Reykjavik and do a big deal here. So I think they've got to be prepared for all of that.
Using your foreign policy experience, though, can you guesstimate what he wants, what North Korea will demand in this negotiation?
Well, the interesting thing is, on the one hand, you have the kind of North Korean comments like, well, Kim could walk in there and put everything on the table. But if you actually listen to their rhetoric so far, it's all stuff we've heard before. So, for example, they said, well, we want the U.S. forces to leave the Korean peninsula and we'll give up our nuclear weapons. Well, look, even if that happened at exactly the same time, the problem is you have a conventional forces problem, which is the North Koreans have a much bigger military than the South Koreans do. So that would be an imbalance, and South Korea would never accept that. So that's an issue. A peace treaty with the U.S., that's actually kind of a nothing burger. I mean, at the end of the day, does it really change the correlation of forces? So I'm not sure if that's something that becomes at the beginning or the end of the process. And then, of course, it's the United States recognizing North Korea. And, okay, again, a bit of a nothing burger, because here's the deal. If you don't want another Iran deal, it's maximum pressure, nuclear deterrence, missile defense, conventional forces, and sanctioning until North Korea is no longer a threat. And so a lot of those things you can't do until they've actually given up their nuclear weapons.
Okay, Jim, we know that the president is going to be a hardliner on so many of these issues, but is there any wiggle room on our side? And if so, where is it?
Well, there's always wiggle room, particularly on the things that are soft. Diplomatic recognition, let's sign a peace treaty. You can do all those things and not give up any ground. And this is what's really key is where North Korea and Iran are bookends, right? You can't say, I am walking away from the table with Iran, because that deal's not tough enough, right? And then turn around and give a sweetheart deal to North Korea. Talk about your credibility just kind of vaporizing in a second. On the flip side of that is the Iranians are watching. If you are tough on North Korea and North Korea comes to the table with a credible, really good deal, boy, that puts an enormous amount of pressure on the Iranians.
Jim, I'm a sports guy. I like to look at predictions at the beginning of the season for the teams that are going to win the Super Bowl and the World Series. Obviously, this is a much more higher stakes situation. Ultimately, at the end of the day, June 12th and beyond, what do you think a possible deal between the U.S. and North Korea looks like?
I hate sports, and I'm a policy analyst, and anybody who gives you a prediction on this is an idiot. So look, and this is a big thing for the markets. People might expect we could have a Reykjavik moment here. The president could go, and those guys could extend and even talk into the second day, and we could hear talk about big things, and they could walk out of the deal and get nothing. But that's okay, because as long as it's maximum pressure, we've dealt with the security threat. And if Kim's willing to come to the table now, he'll come back. So that's all right. So if they walk away with something that's credible, awesome. If they walk away with nothing, it proves what we've always said all along. We are not on a path to war here. Everybody's just playing sides. There'll be another day. Don't sell all your stocks the day after.
Jim, you can't blame me for trying to get the prediction, but totally understandable in this situation.
Good luck with that, brother.
We've got two more or less wild cards. I mean, we have to be realistic about that. At the end of the day, we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, the good guys will make it out on top. Jim Carafano, thanks so much for getting up with us early on a Friday morning. Time now, 17 minutes after the hour. ISIS winning the social media war, but Democrats are more worried about Russia-related ads on Facebook. Does Congress have its priorities out of whack? Kurt,